You're listening to Golden River Underground Session 7. This is a Delta Green campaign adapted from Music from a Darkened Room and Artifact Zero, both by Dennis Detweiler. Check out Table Talk 6.5 for some insight into the podcast operation, or just sit back and enjoy the session.
Who wants to give us the recap?
Jack, it's your turn.
Yeah, I guess it is. So, we were investigating the dig site. This is something that we've been up to for the last couple episodes now. The big development was that it turns out when people touch the antenna, they disappear. It was Dr. Thorley, I believe, who, when excavating the antenna, at some point, while Tim was looking away, just vanished. So this obviously caused a lot of concern. When Simon was called in, and this was explained to him, Simon was skeptical, and he touched the antenna and got teleported to what seemed to be the past, and then was teleported back after touching the antenna again. The antenna was also present in the past. So, something very spooky going on with this antenna. Simon's also gotten his first sort of unambiguous exposure to supernatural elements here.
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be, really could be anything.
There must be a rational explanation.
Mm-hmm. So that was one advancement in the dig site case. Going back to the, I always forget the name of the house.
Spooner Ave house.
The Spooner house. One of the dangling threads that Simon had been trying to chase down for a while were these external people who seemed to be messing with the investigation, stealing evidence. Golden River store it. They had word from the proprietor that somebody had come in and taken most of the incriminating stuff. The apartment was missing all of its incriminating evidence as well. And Simon had been trying to get any kind of lead that he could on who these people were so he could hunt them down and see what was going on there. He was fairly confident that there was no legitimate reason for them to be doing this. And thanks to some footage that was obtained from the Golden River store it security cameras that he was able to get cleaned up courtesy of Tim, he actually got a good look at what these two people look like. After going back to the dig site to assist in the search efforts for Dr. Thorley, they, Tim and Simon, ran into a car that matched the car that they had seen in the security footage, and found those same two people at the dig site. So now these people are involved in both investigations that we have going on. And on interrogating them, they claimed to be federal agents, but Simon at least felt the stories that they were giving didn't really add up. They were threatening to arrest him, he was threatening to arrest them, and eventually they said, "We don't have time for this," and they started walking away. Simon made the decision to attempt to detain them based on what he sees as interfering with, at this point, two separate local investigations. And the session ended with Simon and Tim, motorcycles in the background, Simon and Tim basically beginning their pursuit of these two suspicious individuals claiming to be federal agents who are interfering with both investigations. So that's where we left off.
So minor correction, Tim is standing alone at the dig site.
Right, yeah.
Simon has driven off.
Tim was, indecisive.
Yeah, so Simon was driving back down the trail. The agents bolted off into the woods, and Simon made the decision to speed ahead and go back to their car and wait for backup, which he has called in, and the chief confirmed is on the way.
Chief is reliable where it counts.
Oh yeah, Chief is the man.
Okay. Good summation. So it is Friday, October 6th, 1995, in Golden River, South Dakota. It is mid-morning, and you guys are up at the hiking trail north of town. So when we left, the scene we left on was Simon driving in his sedan down this walking path with the two suspects bolting into the woods. But we didn't really address what Tim was up to. So Tim, about a minute ago, Simon started chasing these guys down the trail in his car. So you are standing in the field, or in the clearing, I should say, where the antenna is, and the two bodies are, or at least a couple of minutes ago, were in the process of being exhumed and being packaged so they could be transported to the university for analysis. So it's you and two university people that are being supervised by one of the lab guys from the police department, and they have all since stopped working and are sort of staring in shock at the hiking trail. What are you doing?
He takes out his mirror and checks for ghosts.
Yeah. I'll do a quick circle. I am thinking to myself, okay, Simon's going to try to head these guys off. I just need to stick around here in case they come back. But for now, I definitely don't want to touch anything. I also want to make sure that nobody else touches anything.
Probably want to go see if that antenna's still active, though.
Oh, yeah. Just go give it a nice tap.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just going to kind of post up next to the antenna and make sure nobody messes with it and see if anybody comes back. But I'm not going to be taking any action here because they're gone. Well, actually, no, they ran off into the woods. I can just follow them, right?
It's probably too far away, too far down the path for you to see them.
The last you saw of them, they were
I'm gonna
sort of
stick around.
speed walking down the path. Okay, so the antenna, this is about a 1 acre clearing, and the antenna is roughly center. So there are, it's a few dozen feet between you and the tree line. And give me an alertness check.
Ooh, alertness.
Oh, yeah. They're going to snipe you from the woods.
Sorry, Tim.
Bad choices. You made the wrong choice.
Oh, you know what? I need to actually grab my dice tray. It's sitting on my table.
Oh my god. While he does that quick minor recorrection, at the end of last session, I had made it to their Ford Bronco, and I had parked in such a way that would make it difficult for them to leave.
Right. Okay. So you're not on the trail anymore.
Right.
Okay.
I'm down there on the radio still waiting for backup to actually arrive. That's
Gotcha.
what I had come up with.
Okay, so an alertness check, you say?
That's right.
Fail.
Okay. Yeah, so you are standing next to the antenna, and you're trying to scan the woods and be alert, see if anyone's going to come back. But the two university guys and the dude from the police station that were there working on the bodies that are not that far away from you are having a pretty loud conversation about did you just see that? What just happened? It's very distracting to you. The other thing is you as you go to listen, I'm going to see if anyone is coming, you realize how loud the forest is. There's a lot of bird song. There's that droning insect noise. You know what I mean?
The cicadas will come out.
And it's you realize it's actually pretty loud out here. You don't know how you didn't notice that before. And another thing is you realize you have no way to contact Simon.
Yeah.
You don't have a radio or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm not I don't necessarily need to immediately get in touch with them if something happens. I just want to, if somebody comes in, I want to be able to get a description of them, see where they go.
Well, you hear loud footsteps. It sounds like someone that's at least jogging, headed towards you. They're
Okay.
Little twigs snapping and leaves rustling, that kind of thing. And after a few seconds of that, you see the two guys emerge from the clearing. And just as they pass through the tree line, they both draw their guns and start pointing them in your direction.
Oh my god.
Okay. Sure. Okay. I put my hands up.
Yeah. So the dude wearing the FBI jacket starts walking towards you. The dude in the BLM jacket starts walking towards the three that are working on the bodies. And the FBI guy says, "Everybody get down on the ground now. Get down on the ground. Interlace your fingers over your head now."
All right, I do that.
So you do that, and then the BLM guy takes a, and I should specify again, BLM in this context stands for Bureau of Land Management, not Black Lives Matter. So it looks like he has his gun out and he's covering the group of you, and the FBI guy holsters his sidearm and he jumps down into the pit, grabs the shovel, and begins shoveling around the antenna. And you can't really see that well because you're lying face down on the ground, but you can hear him working for a little while. And after like a couple of minutes of this, he hops out of the pit, and you hear him, you think, pull something free, and then start jogging back towards the woods. And then the second agent follows behind him, slowly at first, and then you hear him turn and run after the first guy.
Duh. All right.
You know what they just did? They took that Rolex you were going to take.
I know, right? What a tragedy. So I guess once I'm confident that they're gone, go take a look at the pit.
The pit is a little bit deeper now, and the antenna is gone.
Man, how'd they touch it? Okay.
Dragonhide gloves, probably.
Yeah. All right. So I'll turn to everyone else and say, is everyone okay?
Oh, and one of the shovels is gone as well.
Oh, no. Very important.
So the university guys look, all three of them look pretty shaken up. So after you say, "You guys okay?" they actually get up off the ground. And all three of them are like, what are we supposed to do? Like, should we leave?
Do you guys have any, like radios or anything that you can use to communicate out here?
No.
Okay. Well, that's going to be a problem. I mean, we need to let the authorities know that we just got stood up at gunpoint, and then they made off with evidence. And we probably don't want to be here in case they come back. So let's get out of here. How did you guys get here?
I mean, we, and this is one of the university guys speaks up. He says, "I'm parked in the parking lot. Like, I drove us both here." And the lab guy says, like, "Yeah, same."
All right. Well, let's get back to. I came here with a friend, but the friend is doing other stuff right now. So let's get to your car. Let's get to the closest phone, and let's call the police station.
Okay. They'll shrug and.
Well, they calm down quick, huh?
Well, I mean, they still look pretty like antsy, but they just want some direction.
Okay. Well, direction given.
All right. Tembar is taking charge.
Decisive leadership, if I've ever seen it.
So you start walking them down the trail, or what?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the antenna was the only interesting thing here. I'm certainly not going to follow those guys if they're armed, and so there's no reason to stick around.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
And Tim is definitely like, he's got the look of an authority figure. He's got big bags under his eyes because he doesn't sleep much anymore. Yeah. He's got a big oven mitt bandage on one of his hands.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely, like, you look at him and you go like, yeah, I trust this guy.
This guy's seen some shit. Yeah, okay, so you begin the, 10-15 minute walk down the trail to the parking lot. All right, so back over to Simon. Simon, you had lost these two guys when they ran into the woods, and then you continued down the trail until you hit the trailhead and parking lot, and you blocked in the black Ford Bronco that you think belongs to the two of them.
Yeah, it's the one with the government plates.
Right. You had contacted the chief, and the chief is, he's told you he's on the way. And then about 10 minutes after that, he shows up. So he's in his personal vehicle, and there are a couple of uniforms driving in a car behind him. So they pull in, and he immediately walks up to you. So he's dressed in like jeans and a button-down shirt. You don't know if he was even... You think he was probably in the office because he seems to always be in the office, but it was, technically his off day, and he wasn't like wearing any uniform or anything like that.
Right.
But he walks up to you, and he looks ready to go. He like has his sidearm on him. He has his badge on his shirt.
Right.
So he walks up to you, pulls his baseball cap on, and says, "Detective."
Chief. So, we got back to the dig site today, and so there were these two guys there. One of them was wearing a FBI jacket. The other one was Bureau of Land Management. They were the same two guys that, and I pull out my two pictures.
Okay. These are the printouts from the storage facility?
Yeah. It was the same two guys that jacked our evidence from Golden River Storage the other day, and presumably from the Donnelly apartment as well. Anyway, they were both there. They couldn't provide any paperwork or anything, or any actual justification for being here. So then they ran off. So I followed them back. They darted into the woods. I came back to their car, and then you showed up. So I don't know where they're at right now, but this is their ride.
Did you get a badge number?
No, I wasn't able to get anything from these guys before they ran off.
You think they're real law enforcement?
They may be. I really don't have any way of knowing, but they're definitely not here legally.
All right. Well, and he like grabs your arm and brings you over towards where they have one of those like pop-ups set up with a folding table, and this is where one of the officers is still coordinating the search effort.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "How many officers do we have out there right now?" And the guy starts giving him a rundown of, okay, here's the grid breakdown, and here's who we have out. It looks like they still have a handful of volunteers and like local law enforcement still out there looking for Thorley. Mm-hmm. It's significantly smaller than it was like yesterday evening, but there are people out there. And so the chief says, "All right, have we gotten any reports on these two individuals bumping into any of the searchers?" And the officer says, "No, sir." "All right, have everybody report in. I want to make sure that they're all right. There's a chance that they've been gotten to." And so the officer does that, and he starts doing like station check-ins to see if everyone's all right. But as the reports roll in, doesn't seem like anyone has seen these guys yet.
Chief, we might want to have them converge, like back in on the dig site area, or the area between where we're at now and there.
Well, you got to understand, right now, and I understand what you're after, but I have to keep my people safe. It's more important that no individual goes up against these two and gets themselves killed. I'm trying to draw them away, not towards.
Sure. Okay, fair enough, Chief.
But I want you to muster up whatever you can from the station or anywhere else and set a perimeter around the woods. Try to pick them up that way. All
right, I'm on it. Thanks, Chief. I appreciate it.
And he starts working with the he picks up a radio from the officer that's coordinating the grid search and is trying to. It sounds like he's trying to bring people back to the parking lot so he can redeploy them around the outside of the forest. So with that, as you are walking away from him to go back to your car, you see Simon walking down.
I'm Simon. I see Tim.
You see Tim with the other three people that were supposed to be in the clearing working, walking into the parking lot from the trail.
So the moment I see Simon, I run over to him.
Tim, what's up?
Hey, so those two guys came back, and
all right, hey, stop. Let's go over. Just tell it straight to the chief. He's already here.
You got it.
All right, so the chief sees you two coming up, and he puts his radio down on the table and says, "Go."
Hey, so the two, Simon already told you about the two guys, I assume, the agents.
He nods.
So Simon left to, he left to come here. I was still in the clearing with these guys. Those two came back, held us up at gunpoint. dug out the antenna thing, and then left.
Chief, let me catch you up on a few things there. This is Tim Bars. He works over at Corvidian, and he was helping with the dig site here.
Got it.
Doing ground-penetrating radar.
Yep.
One of the things they found was an antenna, and that, so for some reason, these two guys, had finished apparently digging this thing up, and I look over at Tim to, make sure I'm getting this right.
Yep. Once they were gone, the antenna was gone, and so was one of the shovels. They just went back into the woods afterwards.
They held you up at gunpoint to steal an antenna and a shovel?
Apparently.
And he looks at the two university guys and the lab guy, and all three of them nod. He goes, okay.
Yeah, this is a real head scratcher, Chief. I don't know what's going on, but
what kind of antenna are we talking about here?
It's like a radio tower antenna. It was mostly buried, so I don't know how big it was, but and I start kind of motioning with my hands to give him some approximate dimensions.
Right, and so you guys know it's about it's probably about 3 feet tall. It's basically three 3-foot long metal tubes that are connected with these little cross beams. So it's probably light enough that you could hold it in one hand and move with it.
Yeah, so not that big, but apparently these guys took it. I have no idea what their end game is here, Chief. But these guys, especially now if they're holding up civilians at gunpoint, nah.
He nods and says, all right, I'll keep working it over here. I want you to deploy everyone you can find to catch them when they come out of the forest. I don't want them getting out.
Consider it done, Chief. And I'm running back over to my car to get to the radio.
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. Just hang out here.
Okay, you got it.
So I'm going over to my car so I can, because my handheld probably isn't going to reach the station, but my car radio can.
Okay. So you go to your car and you get on the radio, and what do you say?
So first, I'm just trying to hail anyone, station or dispatch or whoever. This is Simon Redding.
Come in.
Hey, this is from the chief. We need all available. I was gonna say agents, not agents. Uniforms to get out to the dig site area in the same vicinity as the search area for Thorley. We have two individuals, male, who are potentially law enforcement or posing as law enforcement, but they have held up people at gunpoint within the woods and then are moving somewhere throughout. So we need to set up a perimeter around the forest area, some roving patrols and black and whites to see if we can pick these guys up.
Understood. We'll get a couple of cars out there right away.
Now, and again, these men should be considered armed and dangerous, so people should not be approaching alone, and they should radio in as soon as they see anything.
Roger all.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go and see what where I fit into this at this point.
Yeah. So, you can see that people are coming into the parking lot that were previously out searching their grid areas. And the chief is directing them to the uniform ones anyway to get in their cars, and he has they have a map down on this table of the whole search area, and it has the boundaries of the forest that this hiking trail goes through. And so he has a marker out, and he's marking areas along the state highway that circles the forest, directing them to go to those areas. But you can tell it's too much area.
Yeah, I figured.
There are going to be significant holes in this thing, and it's more likely than not. This is just the holes in this net are too large. So
the good thing is they're on foot, so they could hitchhike a way out or something like that. But we have some time, so it's possible.
Right. It's definitely better than nothing, but you are not optimistic about your chances.
Yeah, but now we can narrow the search too. So the good thing is wherever these guys pop up, eventually, assuming that they don't jump into a hole. I'd put out the Some Points bulletin last episode, and now I've got something a little more concrete. Hey, one of them is FBI and one of them is BLM, probably. So I can tailor the search a little more and get some information on these guys in the event that we don't catch them. So, like, I've got another avenue, even if I can't, like, get my hands on them right now, which is not great, but it's better than nothing. That's what's going through Simon's head.
Yeah. Okay.
An admin note, by the way, since that was a very long table talk, don't worry about making this a very long session.
Well, good, because we'll just shut it down right there.
Okay, roger that. 15 minutes.
All right. Tune in next time.
Yeah. No, so over the next 15, 20 minutes, as cars are coming in, like more and more, instead of communicating at this table in the parking lot, we're communicating over the radio with people calling in to say that they've reached their spot on the perimeter. What everyone has been directed to do is get out of the cars. They've got they're pulling over to the side of the road, getting out, pulling out the shotguns or rifles or whatever they happen to have in the trunks of these cars, binoculars if they have them, and they are just basically setting up like watch stations so they can see if anyone penetrates the tree line and apprehend them. So more and more guys are getting on station, but no reports have come in yet that they've seen anyone come out of the forest.
Okay, not surprising, but still disappointing.
Yeah.
I guess this is a good time. While basically, I'm just waiting around. I do want to radio back to the station and see if they've gotten anything back on the Some Points bulletin yet.
Okay. No word yet.
Okay. Once I get back to the station, I'll provide some more specifics, because it was a little ambiguous last time. Which one of them said that their name was Johnson? Was that the Bureau?
FBI.
That was okay. So another piece of the puzzle. I don't remember if the other one said what his name was. So
I don't remember if he gave a name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember. So, anyway, just another thing. But I'm, my heart rate's coming down a little bit. And I'm like playing the events over in my head, like trying to think, could I have done anything better? Should I have tried to arrest one of them? Like, what would have happened? Could I, I deliberately made a decision to not follow them and go to their car. And given the information I had, I think it was the right call, but I lost them, and then they could have, they were holding people up at gunpoint, could have killed them. So like I'm running through what happened and whether I could have done better, and I don't know that I could have made a better decision with the information I had, but it still almost turned out pretty disastrous. I mean that's tough. That's crisis situations,
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, at this point, your forces are pretty fully deployed. This is about the best coverage you're going to get without calling in like outside law enforcement agencies.
Let's get the FBI and Bureau of Land Management looking at these guys.
And people are waiting, and the chief looks at you and says, "Now listen, I'm putting everything I got into this, but realistically, I can't maintain this for very long."
No, I totally understand, Chief. I appreciate what you've done already.
Appreciate it if it works. Now tell me everything you know about these guys.
So it's not a lot, but so the full sequence, just to catch everybody up. So I had been investigating the Donnelly case, and I'd found some sort of strange stuff at his apartment and at a storage container at Golden River Store. On Tuesday, it was in the morning, I talked to Sergeant Dean and told him to get some boys over to both scenes to start looking or go collect up the evidence. The evidence included things like some unregistered firearms. In the container, there was an exhumed coffin and the corpse of a little kid, like a young boy, I think from the 50s. Weird stuff like that. So, but by the time the boys got there to get the evidence, someone else had gotten there between when I left and when those guys showed up. And that's where I got this picture from. It's from the surveillance at Golden River Store. So when I heard that, I went over to the apartment to see if somebody had cleared that place out, and someone had before I got there. Presumably the same guys, though I don't know for sure. Then, that night, I can't remember right now. It might have been the next night, but the Donnelly house burned down, the one on Spooner Ave. Now, Chief, between you and me, there's some evidence I took from I collected from the Spooner house that once this started happening, I have it filed under a different case back at the station because I was afraid these guys were going to come in. And,
Smart.
Yeah. So, we can go take a look at that or whatever, but it was weird evidence. Like, I don't know what to do with it. I was just trying to protect it.
Good thinking.
Thanks, Chief. My hat's off to the evidence tech who is helping me out because he took a risk helping me out with that. He's a good guy.
Did he want anything for it?
Yeah, actually, he was looking to try and get. He wants to be on the motorcycle beat. So I'm saying he's a man of character.
Mm-hmm.
So
because he's willing to lie.
Yeah, no, he's willing to do what it takes to get the job done. Anyway, so. Yesterday is when I was able to actually get the surveillance tape on these guys. And then with the help of actually Tim, who's sort of a whiz with computers and VCRs, I was able to, get this cleaned up and get these two pictures. So I put out a Some Points bulletin yesterday to try to get some information on these guys. But then today, when we came back out to the dig site here, that's when we actually saw them in person. And then the rest you already know. So that's the full story of my interactions and some conjecture about these guys and what they're doing. What is their purpose here? I really couldn't say.
All right. Got it.
That should be helpful to the listeners, I hope, to kind of summarize what's happened so far as it pertains to these two agents.
So, some dark clouds are rolling in.
Ooh, poetic.
Looks like it's going to rain. And
what a terrible
now
day for rain.
You are standing there under the pop-up, looking at the map, waiting as the officer there goes through every checkpoint and queries them. They're all where they're supposed to be, and nobody's seen anything yet.
Yeah, Chief, I do recommend. Obviously this is gonna have to end at some point. I understand that. We should tow this vehicle back to the station. The Bronco, I mean.
See to it.
All right. I radio in for somebody to come pick this up.
All right. Yep. Dispatch acknowledges.
Yeah. So, Chief, if it's all right with you, I'm gonna head back to the office and see if I can get some more information about these guys from the local bureau. Now that I've got a name.
All right. Good work.
All right. Thanks, Chief. And then I kind of look at Tim like, you want to come with?
Yeah, there's nothing else I can do here, so...
Yeah, I'm your ride, so...
Yeah.
All right,
sorry for letting them take the antenna.
Hey, not your fault, man. I mean, I don't know that. What could you have done?
I'm thinking I need a gun,
I don't know. I mean, hey, we're in South Dakota, so, I'm pretty sure you could just go to anywhere. And
you could probably just open carry, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, no one's stopping you, but...
I do akimbo.
Are you a gun kata guy?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, if you want to get a gun, go for it. But, just be careful. Have you fired a gun before?
I think wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember back
Let's
to
see what my
my
skill in firearms is, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, 80.
You have an 80 in firearms? It's higher than me.
Yeah, so
He's like a competitive shooter.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're a Marine recon.
Tim, you look at Tim and you see him stand a little straighter, and he goes, "I'm back." I forgot I gave myself an 80 in firearms.
He's John Wick from the first movie. He's like, people keep asking me if I'm back. Well, you know what?
I'm thinking I'm back. Yeah. I got an 80 in firearms and a 60 in drive. I was the wheelman.
What in the world? Why?
Oh my god,
that's better than
this is not the Tim Bars I've come to know.
Yeah, he's got a dark past.
I guess so.
Used to be an enforcer for the mob.
And a 70 in heavy machinery. He's forklift certified in addition to his other...
Now he's really dangerous. Okay.
It's Killdozer time.
Oh, yeah. Is Tim Bars the actual Killdozer? All right.
I was wondering why. Like, I'd forgotten I'd given myself such a good firearm score, and I was.
Why am I so
thinking
bad at
earlier,
all
like,
these other things?
Well, yeah, I was like, why do I'm so terrible at almost everything. Yeah, I need to get a gun.
Yeah. Well, luckily, yeah, so Simon's like, well, all right, it seems like you're obviously hyper proficient with firearms. So,
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure
know it.
I don't need to tell you about gun safety, but, just, I'm not worried about your ability to hit the target, because obviously, but, you're a little jumpy. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it won't be a problem.
Oh, okay. Well,
Tim
that's
Bar
fine.
using a
There you
mirror
go.
to look down the sights.
Yeah.
Any ghosts down there?
All right, so we hop in the car and we can get going to the station.
Yeah, you said so. You go to hop in the car, but Tim gets behind the driver's seat, and then it's just like
I'll drive.
he's just drifting the whole way.
Hold on, you said he gets behind the driver's seat?
Yes.
Oh my god.
He reaches around the seat with his legs to steer. That way he's got his hands free to shoot in case somebody.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, so you guys, on your way to the station, as Tim Bars is drifting around, I don't know if Eurobeat was really, I don't know when that was big.
Tim, this is a company car. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, but it begins to rain, and it's actually raining pretty hard.
Okay.
But you make it to the station in a few minutes and go inside.
It's raining really hard. All right. Hey, so I'm gonna go over to, I guess, I'm just gonna go over to my desk and try to call up the, whatever the nearest, field office is for the FBI. Mm-hmm. Which presumably
I assume
in
it's Pierre. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna give them a call, and the purpose of the discussion is I want to fax them over the picture of Johnson, and then say hey, do you know who this is, and why is he here?
Okay, so you have dealt with the FBI before, and you know that especially anything that might paint one of their agents in a bad light, you don't expect a prompt response.
Uh-huh.
So you send this information over, but you have no expectation that you're going to be hearing back from them right away.
Okay, and then I'll do essentially the same thing with the Bureau of Land Management.
Okay.
I presumably have not ever worked with them before.
Probably not.
I don't even know if they have a big field presence here. They probably work in the same building as the Bureau. I don't know.
I think so. If you look at a map of federal land in the United States, a lot of the surface area of the United States is federal land, especially out west.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of land that ranchers and people like that pay money to access for grazing and stuff like that. But I was looking at a crazy map of this before. I know this is a
I'm
quick
looking
aside,
at it right now.
but
It looks like our area probably isn't. Well, actually, it might be. Hang on. I can't get an overlay, but
here, I just this isn't table talk material, but you can see.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
But I think.
I mean, there are some states like Nevada that are mostly federal land.
That's
we are
interesting.
currently not on federal land, but the reservations north of us is that big red spot.
Well, that's Bureau of Indian Affairs.
Oh yeah, sorry. So Bureau of Land Management has nothing going on here.
No, but in neighboring states, especially as you move west, there's a significant BLM presence.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt. But yeah, so
a lot of people don't know this, especially if they live on the East Coast, how much of the country is federal land.
Yeah, it's the entire state of Nevada.
Yeah.
The entire southeast corner of Oregon, southwest corner of Wyoming, half of Utah.
Yeah. Why
Yeah,
the
it's quite a
Tennessee
bit.
Valley Authority owns so much of Alaska, I don't know.
Yeah, it is a little strange.
Or no, that's not Tennessee Valley Authority. That's National Forest Service. That makes more sense.
Oh, I thought you were making a joke. You're just colorblind.
Yeah. Well, green and green.
They are both green. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
you think they could have picked better colors for this. They've got 3 different shades of green that aren't that different.
Yeah. They it's obvious when they're right next to each other, but when they're not, it's a little tougher. Anyway, So I am, I'm calling over to see if, whatever the nearest office is has any information on this guy, but, that's a pretty vanishing hope since I don't even have a name.
Yeah, you don't know if this is going to the right person. You've never had to interact with this agency before.
I have a hard time just hunting down a fax number where I can send over this picture.
Yeah, it's presumably getting printed out somewhere.
Yeah, in some dusty office that no one's checked in 3 years. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm doing what I can. So I mean, hopefully someone will get back to us at some point. What I'm gonna if we don't hear anything back today, I'm gonna talk to the chief and see if we can get the mayor involved, because this is nuts. If these guys are actually feds, then they have a responsibility to address this with us, especially when we've got 4 eyewitnesses, to a bureau agent holding people up at gunpoint at a local crime scene. That is something that there's no way that they can just ignore and not say anything about.
Okay, so you send these faxes. What else are you doing?
I don't know. I'll go see what Sergeant Dean's up to. Haven't seen him in a while. Okay,
well, you think he's probably out on the search.
Oh. Well, I guess I'll go check on the evidence. Make sure that it's still there. No one's gotten to it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you head downstairs to the evidence room, and your favorite young policeman is down there manning the desk.
And I've got good news for him.
So he sees you come in and says, "What can I do for you, detective?"
Hey, I was wondering if I could take a look at that evidence I had you put in under the false case name the other day. Which, by the way,
he looks around when he hears you say that.
No, I talked to the chief about it. He said it was a good idea and that you were super helpful in making sure that this evidence stayed secure.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I agree. But I do want to just take a look at it real quick.
Oh, right away. And he shuffles back into the locker and then grabs it. It's just one of those brown file boxes.
Right.
And he brings it out, puts it on the desk for you.
All right, appreciate it. I'm not going anywhere with it. I just want to take a look at it.
All right. There's a table on your side of the desk that you can sit down at.
Yeah. And I assume Tim is still with me.
Yes.
Unless Tim, did you go somewhere else?
No. Tim's been sticking around, and by the way, just as a little flavor, when you were talking to the FBI and describing the situation and you mentioned Tim Bars, you heard you could feel the chill on the other side of the line as they realized that you're talking about one of the people on their don't fuck with him list.
He is the John Wick of this world. People say his name and they're like, oh,
a fucking pencil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Not only do we have 4 eyewitnesses, one of them was Tim Bars. All right. So anyway, I'm opening up this box and I'm pulling out the bronze dagger and bowl and the book, I think.
Yep. The diary.
Yeah.
You do see Tim sort of surreptitiously, or so he thinks. It's pretty obvious to anybody who's watching him. The moment the evidence comes out, he kind of takes his mirror out. He's looking at it.
And it's just a little makeup mirror, right?
Yeah. It's one of those little clamshell makeup mirrors.
It's bright pink with some rhinestones on it. It's not subtle.
And you've been jostling it around a whole bunch, so all its contents it's smeared all over the mirror. It's all gross.
No, I cleaned it out.
Okay.
There's no stuff in it anymore, but.
Tim Bars does not detect anything with the mirror.
Shocking.
So yeah, I just want to take another look at this, just to see if there's anything interesting about it. There probably isn't. I'm running out of things to do in this immediate moment.
Okay.
Can you re-describe the evidence for us if you don't mind?
I suppose. I gotta pull up my notes here. Just kidding. It would take too long. So what is in there?
Let me check my notes.
I think it's just those 3 items. I think it is, like you said, it's a bronze bowl. So this is a simple bowl with sort of a little flared base. It's made of solid bronze, and so it is it's heavy. And there's also a ceremonial, somewhat decorative-looking bronze dagger. Both the dagger and the bowl have what you think is dried blood on them. Very old, and you had previously, I think, sent that in for DNA testing. Is that right?
We sent it in for at least chemical testing to see if it was blood.
Did
Was
we?
it in 1995? Could you do proper DNA testing?
I think there was rudimentary. I think the problem is there's no database to check it against.
Yeah.
So you can match it. I think it was feasible to match it against like another known piece of DNA, but you can't. There wasn't like some massive database where you could match it to, just some person out in the wild.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah, and I don't think that we did that. I think we just put it straight into evidence.
Maybe we discussed doing it and didn't do it.
Maybe.
Maybe right.
All right, we'll say you didn't do it then. So anyway, you think it's dried blood. So there are those two things, and these are items that you recovered from the secret compartment in the like the weird decorative end table in the Spooner House that had the like the odd artistic design on the tabletop that was of the like that jet black faceless figure dancing with some other human figures. Also in there was, and also in this box of evidence was a journal. This was
I had photocopied it and given a copy to Tim.
This is Isabel Wheeler's journal that you had read previously. So it's just an old, plain, leather-bound book. It's got those very thin, gold-edged, like Bible pages.
Right. Hey, Tim. This just came to mind. I feel like it's a lead that we got at some point that I totally forgot about. Isn't somebody from this journal still alive, like the nurse or something like that? Am I crazy?
Let's see. That would have been.
And I'm thinking Canada and Asylum.
Let me check my notes. Let's see. Isabel not.
I'm trying to remember if this is like knowledge I shouldn't have, or if it's something I'm conflating with something else.
Adele Di Vitello.
Yeah, what about her? Well, she was the nurse, right?
She was the super old, the apparently extremely old occultist person who got brought in to and taught Isabel how to contact the Dark Man.
Right.
With the ritual. She might still be alive. I'm also trying to remember.
She's probably not. You know what, Shepard? Why don't you go ahead and give me an intelligence check?
Not okay, yeah. I have no recollection of where I'm getting this information.
This is why
from,
you should take notes.
Straight up making it up.
Could I make a firearms check for this?
Yeah. I got a 53 on a 55.
Wow. Okay,
Nice.
so you are probably conflating what you read in that journal with what you guys learned through research about the previous occupants of the Spooner House.
That's right. Okay. That's where it was.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, where am I getting this?
Simon on the back of the head and says, "You idiot."
Right, yeah, so Tim gently pats Simon on the back of the head with his new gun.
I go, oh yeah, that's right.
Just pokes him with the barrel a couple of times.
That was the thing that I forgot to follow up on, was all the previous residents of the Spooner House. Yeah. Hey,
You
Tim,
silly bitch.
can I get you? Oh, actually, Tim, you should probably go back to the office at some point and tell Maggie that, the developments in this case.
That's actually true. Yeah, I'll.
You know what? I'll come with you. It'll
Perfect.
lend some additional credibility to your story.
Yeah, that's. I mean, my social credit is pretty low at the office right now, so that would probably help.
It's fine. Plus, I think Maggie likes me.
Well, get in line, buddy.
Of what? People who like me?
It's just Simon notices that Tim is now brimming with confidence.
Oh yeah, he's a new man.
Yeah. Now that he remembered that he's actually incredibly competent.
Now I've got a gun.
Now I've got a gun and I don't feel naked anymore. Yeah. Okay, so we'll turn the evidence back in because whatever. And I give another hearty thank you to the young man behind the counter.
So you just look at the evidence and go like, oh yeah, this is like something totally unrelated, and be like,
we
you
were,
take
like,
this
leaving.
back now.
We were leafing through the journal and stuff.
Yeah.
And I do mention to the tech, like, oh, I did mention to the chief that you were interested in becoming a motorcycle cop.
Wow, really?
So he's tracking.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. And I hand him back the box.
Okay, he dutifully locks it up.
Thanks. And then we're off to Corvidian Tech.
Okay, so you two pile back into Simon's car.
I tell
Tim-
the front desk where we're going, just so they know.
Okay. Tim, of course, is driving incredibly fast.
Yeah, he has a blindfold on.
So you guys get there in record time.
There's still the mangled remains of Tim's bike.
Right.
That's sitting up front.
You walk into the lobby, which is like half rec room, half dark, philosophical. Like, all the employees are grappling with like the moral quandaries presented by their work.
Right.
And you head up to Tim's office, and it's like lunchtime-ish. And so you expect to see people there, and you do. And so
What a shocking development.
Yeah, oh my God.
As discussed before, it's sort of like an open plan situation where it's an open space where there are big desks within sight of each other, and then there are like Maggie's offices at the far end.
Yeah, we rent this place from WeWork, I think.
Well, yeah, WeWork had not yet taken off. It wasn't the hugely
this is-
successful thing that it is now.
This is one of the pilot programs for it.
So, Tim, you're able to walk in and go to your desk.
Cool. Well,
Tim, we're not here
no
to
need
go
to go
to
to
your
my
desk.
desk.
Do you want to check? Do you want to check your like '90s email?
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a pile of faxes on your desk.
Yeah. Well, since you're actually, you're all right because there's no Outlook yet, so you don't have an Outlook calendar or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have a million appointments that you've missed.
Yeah. Beautiful foreign women with mysterious pasts.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you as you're looking at your, you're like clicking around on your screen. You can see your eyes meet Maggie's through the open door to her office, and she stands up and walks out towards you.
I wave my stump hand at her.
Instead of a stump
I'm also
now.
there. Yeah, he cut it off. It just wasn't
Yeah.
done right.
Yeah, it's throwing me down.
And Simon is standing like a little taller, and and he shaved yesterday.
He
so
puffs
he's
his
looking a
chest
little more
out.
professional.
Yeah.
Puffs what? Yeah, he's like a skeleton, so there's not much to puff. But
Right. So she walks up and she says, Tim, I didn't expect you to be back today. I thought you were still out at the dig site.
and before he can answer, Simon,
Well, Toots, let me tell you.
hey Maggie, how are you doing? It's me, Simon. Remember me?
Oh, hello, detective.
You can call me Simon.
Okay, Simon.
That's exactly how she said it last time. And that's enough for me. I kind of smirk.
Are you all done at the dig site?
Well,
Tim breaks down in tears and says, "They held me up at gunpoint."
no, he doesn't. I look at her and say, "Well, I'm here with Tim right now because there were some weird developments over there. So maybe you won't get any calls about it. There were some. Dr. Thorley went missing. He was the guy from the university.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't hear about it. There's a big search party out there right now.
I hadn't put two and two together, but wow.
Yeah. So that happened, and then there was also today. There were some folks who, like, honestly, we're not sure right now. We're either pretending to be law enforcement or something, and they like busted onto the scene and started, taking some of the stuff that people were finding. It was crazy. Luckily, Tim here was being a real hero, and
What do you mean busted onto the scene?
So when me and Tim showed up today, they were there. We chased them off, but then while I was calling for backup, they came back onto the scene and took one of the. There was like this weird antenna thing that Thorley and the gang here unearthed, and for some reason these guys took it.
Oh, that's so strange.
Yeah, no, it's super weird.
So anyway, the point is, there's not much left for us to be doing there.
Yeah, because snag.
Yeah, the entire whatever they were planning on doing with that ground, it's an investigation area now. So, and the survey's done regardless. So
you'll be coming back to work. You're back at work now.
Well, so
So part of that is, he was the the primary eyewitness to some of the what these law enforcement or perhaps not real law enforcement guys were doing there. So I'm gonna need to have him at the office for a little bit to go over his story and potentially providing testimony to local police, the FBI, any of those folks. So sorry to keep taking away Tim here, but he's being a real hero right now, and that to make sure justice is done, I might need him a little longer.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh yeah, baby. See, I'm looking out for you, Tim.
Tim is sweating bullets right now.
Ooh, I only have a 40 in persuasion.
Oh no. I'd like to assist.
Can I get an advantage on this? 44 on a 40.
So that is a critical failure.
That's a critical fail.
Yeah, Tim blinks and then finds that he is shackled to his desk.
Yeah, she crosses her arms, her posture shifts, and she looks a little suspicious, and she says,
Jeez.
I mean, isn't that
Everything
just...
I said is actually true.
Isn't that just like one statement?
No, not
It's a
not for
really
something like
complicated story.
So, well, I mean, to be fair, it actually is pretty complicated, but also, we haven't found these guys yet, so Tim's going to have to be there to identify them. He's going to have to talk about, he also helped me, develop some VCR evidence off a tape. Like, Tim's role in this has been not only heroic, but extensive, as sort of just a result of his interaction with the assignment that you had given him over at the dig site. So it's way more than one statement.
Okay, make another persuasion check.
Okay, so I got a 40, and my skill is 40. Does that mean I succeed?
Fuck.
Oh, I don't remember this.
I don't remember how it works.
I got the book right next to me. I can look.
Yeah.
I'm the one person in the world who has a physical Delta Green Handler's Guide. Or not I have the Handler's Guide, but this is the agent one. Okay, skill checks. You guys can vamp for a second.
She looks at you and says, so before your hand was just bandaged, but now it's a stump?
Yeah, it's progressive. I expect that I actually
It's gangrenous.
I'm just gonna be a floating head tomorrow.
Oh, wow. You'll still be able to work, though, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'll just dictate to.
Still go to staff meetings.
Roll your skill, test rating, or lower to succeed. Page 42.
Yay.
Okay, so 0 is actually 100. And that's a crit fail. That's what we're saying.
Yes, but
Well, let me check.
Right, because it's so rolling 1 through 40 is a success if you have 40 in the skill.
It says 1 to 100 is
Right. So right.
So 0 would be 100.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So you passed.
I passed.
So
Wow, I guess we'll just give you your full pension forever while you investigate this.
So
for
she
as long as
she
you
does
need.
loosen up a little bit. She says, okay, but Tim, please hurry back. Like we're really starting to get behind.
Don't worry, Toots. I'm always there when you need me.
Are you holding your gun right now?
Yes, absolutely.
It's
I'm
a
waving
real
it
big
around
one. It's
dramatically.
like a 44. It's like a revolver that's 3 feet
It's
long.
a gun, and it's a gun that it's one of those handguns that has an under rail, and on that rail he has like his Porsche keys. That's like everything that makes Tim in one hand.
It's the old Tim, the Tim he thought had wasn't gonna come out.
Dirty Harry was actually based on Tim Bars.
Tim Bars and his exploits. Impressive.
Yeah, so she seems to reluctantly accept this.
Yeah. Hey, I think it should probably go in his next, evaluation of how heroic he's been recently.
Well, what
I
do you
don't know how
mean?
guys-
Didn't he just use a radar?
Well, I mean, if one, I don't think you should discount how important that radar was, but two, no, I'm talking about his conduct in the face of like a gunman.
A gunman?
Pointing a, yeah.
Yeah, we actually didn't. This part wasn't
Did I not say
explicitly
that? Yeah, he
discussed
got
in
held
this
up at
conversation.
gunpoint by these guys.
What?
Sorry, I forgot about that. I guess.
I was wondering if you were ever going to tell me that.
I thought I'd said it.
No, you just said that they came back and took it.
Oh yeah, no, they came back and took it at gunpoint. Sorry, I should have been more specific.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it was.
Are you
crazy.
okay?
I'm fine, but I feel it's my civic duty to help catch these criminals.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, give me a persuade check, 10 bars.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I feel like this should be with advantage or something. Come on.
No, well, I mean, I hope so, because this, as with most of my stats, is a dump stat.
Like everything but firearms and heavy machinery.
Okay, it's a normal fail.
Oh, come on.
So, yeah, like Simon started to kind of build Tim up, and then he's like,
And then he just farts.
I'm gonna catch these criminals.
I
And
push my glasses up. I put my gun inside my pocket protector.
yeah, you gotta like roll your sleeves up. You have these very skinny little forearms.
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, that's so sweet."
And she goes, "Aww."
It's like your kid handing you a drawing. She puts it up on the fridge. Awesome.
Yeah, you catch those criminals.
No, but like really, he's being really helpful. Like trust me.
And she says, "Of course he is."
All right. Anyway,
Tim
I need
notices there's a mosquito flying around in the back half of the room, and I shoot it.
Bullseye.
Everyone's deaf now.
Everyone claps. So yeah, I think that's the end of that scene. You guys can walk out of the building
I
now.
was gonna say yeah. I want to very like, hey Tim. Speaking of which, I need you to work on the. And then I like rattle off some fake sounding forum name. I'm like we need to get going. Maggie, I really
You gotta
appreciate
file
your
those
time.
TPS reports right away.
Yeah.
You should work on that ID10T.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then as soon as we are out of Maggie's earshot, I'm like, you want to get lunch or something?
Absolutely.
All right.
You thinking Stella's, or you thinking get some? I bet you're hankering for some Jameson.
You know what? We let's. You keep talking about Stella's. I'll go for some Stella's.
Yeah.
That's fine.
They love me there.
I'm sure.
Okay.
So we're gonna head over to Stella's.
Yeah, so you guys drive over to Stella's. It's still raining pretty hard. And when you get there, Tim, they have you sign in on the clipboard so they can just make sure that you're all right. You normally sign in on this every day.
It's like your parole officer.
Right.
You have these check-ins.
And then you go and you sit down at your favorite booth where you can, it's got the window with the best view.
It's a sniper's perch.
And what do you guys? What are you ordering? It's just normal diner fare.
Yeah, I'll get I'm on the all potato diet, so.
Yeah, I was about to say I get just hash browns.
Right, they say boiled, mashed, or baked.
Just
broiled,
boil them, mash them,
steamed.
stick them in a stew, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll take potatoes. Skip the flavor.
Yeah. Do they have any potato soup on the menu?
Oh, there you go.
Right. Your waitress takes a potato and just puts it in your glass of water.
Delicious. And then of course I'll order a beer.
Of course.
Well, vodka made from potatoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a vodka guy. I mean, if it's all that's available, whatever. But
What did you say last time, Jack? Dingling.
Oh, dingling. Yeah. I'll take a dingling lager.
Yeah. Yeah, they have that on tap here at the diner.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I'll take a pint. Just the one though. I gotta stay sharp.
Okay.
Just in case, what if those agents walk in right now?
Right.
I'll just hand my gun to Tim and the cower under the table while he takes care of it.
Okay.
Maybe that's the solution. Tim should just get a new job as a detective.
Right. You got all the requisite skills. I mean, why not?
All right. What are you guys talking about?
I'm lamenting that, the likelihood of getting a golf game in tomorrow is just, falling through the floor. Obviously Tim can't play, and like
why is that
Simon,
obvious?
His hand is now gone up to the elbow.
Yeah. Well, I put it out there before, but no. One-handed golf, not really a thing, but one-handed mini golf, maybe.
Yeah, nah. But more importantly, if the search for Thorley is still going on, there's no way that Simon's gonna go play golf instead of going out for a hike and searching probably vainly for Thorley.
Well, if they're on is anybody checking the green? Someone needs to be there.
It's clear on the other side, because I believe we said the golf course is on the southeast side, and we were up way north of town. So yeah, assuming the search is still going on, which probably after tomorrow, because today's Friday, that would have been the third day of the search. The Chief's probably going to call it there, but yeah. So golf is probably out of the question tomorrow, and Simon's just kind of running through his thought process about that.
All right.
I don't know. I think golf is totally. This could be like a Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency style plot.
I have no idea what that is.
That's
But you should.
Come on, man. It's a Douglas Adams book series. Douglas Adams, rather.
Oh, really? Oh, now I want to read it.
It's like a detective who's he runs a holistic detective agency where
Because
he'll take
everything
a case.
is connected.
Everything's connected, so he'll be like, all right, so now that I've taken this case, I'm gonna expense this trip to Hawaii. Because everything's connected, so the evidence, and of course it always works.
It's true. That sounds awesome. Okay, I'll check that out at some point.
It's been a while since I read it.
Yeah, please link that so I can order it.
There was a TV series as well. That I did not know.
I think it was a BBC series. I think it has Elijah Wood in it.
Really? Interesting.
It does.
Wait, when did this come out?
This was let's see. The 8-episode first season premiered in 2016.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, well, anyway, we're getting a little off track here.
We are getting a little off track, but I will link that.
Okay. Very interesting.
No, that's all right, because this is a good place to wrap anyway.
Okay, perfect. Great session.
We learned so much.
Yeah, I'm really glad we got to explore Tim's character a little more.
Yeah. It's getting more Flanderized as it goes on. Let's see.
Flanderized, suggests that we take pre-existing characteristics and go crazy with them. This was something brand new.
I got a good roll.
Or I guess it was
3
technically
for my
pre-existing,
stats.
but entirely unaddressed up to this point.
Yeah, and hey, don't forget to check off the skills that you failed skill checks on.
Yep,
Oh yeah,
I just did that.
No,
Okay.
Trust me, I do not forget that.
All right.
My alertness is all the way up to 28 these days. Pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. Now I will say, my integrity, what remains of it, what we've been doing is rolling a 1d4 at the end of all these. At the bottom of the
Yeah,
character
I think
sheet,
you're supposed to just add 1. Right?
it says add 1. Yeah, it says
Yeah.
check a box when you attempt a skill and fail. Which, by the way, you can't check these boxes in Adobe, which is annoying.
Yes,
After the
I've noticed
session,
that.
add 1 to each.
No,
check skill
fuck
and
that.
original
Roll
checks.
1d4.
Okay. That's cool. I'm willing to. I get a 4 literally every time I roll, and it's really exciting. But I do think I was gonna bring this up at one point during a table talk, but I'll just mention it now. It's interesting that there are some games that use sessions as some metric for measuring when you do certain things. So for an example, the Witcher TTRPG system, instead of doing rests, it's all about you can do something once per session, which I think is really weird because it starts making it you have to sort of meta out how long you think the session should go as a player of I can only do this once per session and we're
Right.
5 minutes in, so that it's something that you can really troll people with as a DM if you just keep the session going forever. And so this is one of those where it says after the session add 1. So, if you have long or short sessions, then that's that can end up making a pretty big difference. I just think that's interesting. Alrighty.
All right, let's stop recording.
Yeah, this is great.
Good stuff.